Welcome to a Fortnight on the Isle, my bi-weekly update series, and my apologies for this video being a little bit late. I'm not going to make any excuses, time just simply got away from me. I did not realize that the last 2 weeks were in fact 2 weeks. I ended up realizing like this morning at 8:30 in the morning, which my time is a half hour after this video would normally come out. I realized like, wait a minute. This was the week that the Fortnight on the Isle was supposed to come out, wasn't it? And it was, in fact, the week that it was supposed to come out. So I went to church, came back, got my notes done, and we're getting this video out today, baby. So, alas, the show must go on. I have a few things to talk about, so let's just get right into it. I don't want to waste any time either for myself or for you guys. Timestamps are in the description for whatever sections you're interested in watching. We'll start off, just as always, with the reading. There's not a whole lot to talk about here. I did, however, start House of Leaves like I planned to. Haven't gotten as far as I wanted, but I'm probably somewhere in the halfway through range or so, depending on how you count, the pages with the introduction and a couple of the appendix sections that I've had to read in here, plus the actual content, and I'm having a great time. The beginning of House of Leaves was a treat tonally, getting into the mystery, starting to understand some of the stuff of what's going on, but also seeing the way that it's being expanded right now is really enjoyable. The last chapters that I've read at this point were chapters 9 and 10, and of course, if you've read House of Leaves, you probably know what I'm referring to with chapter 9 being like a labyrinth. That was a really crazy chapter to read. 10 definitely went a little bit quicker, and in order to get through this little section, I needed to read chapters 11 and 12 here over the last couple days, and I just didn't have time. I've been too busy with other stuff, but like I said, I'm probably somewhere approximately halfway through this, depending on how you count the pages. So we'll see how much longer it takes, but I am having a great time with House of Leaves. That is the only real reading that I got done the last couple weeks, outside of one short story being A Knightess of Vaughn, the 5th Adaman story that will be part of the Grimoire Grim Oak collection for Dragonsteel Nexus 2025. That story was good. Not my favorite story of the Adman stuff so far. I think it's probably my third favorite is where I would rank it at this point. But yeah, those two things are all that I've read the last couple weeks. What I'm planning to read over the next couple weeks is finishing House of Leaves first and foremost, getting onto a reread of The Shrine of Lost Stars, the 2nd Adaman story, for some stuff I'm doing for Christopher with that. Going to be getting into that this week, and then this week as well I'm going to be starting another freelance copy edit project, which is going to be Immoral and Malevolent Happenings by Alex Inglis. If you know the metalcore band Before I Turn, one of my favorite bands, the kind of story that's going along with some of the albums that Alex has written for that band, this book is going to be paired along with the next album from the band, so I'm going to be working on that. I should have got started on that like a week or two ago, and it hasn't happened yet, but this week I'm going to buckle down and actually get started on some of that stuff. But that is all for the reading. Let's talk about the gaming. There's a little bit to talk about the last couple weeks. I have started playing Baldur's Gate 3, surprisingly enough. This is a little bit of a random inclusion here. Basically just played through the tutorial plus a little bit more after that, because I'm doing Baldur's Gate 3 as a co-op playthrough with a new friend of mine. This very casual, pretty low stakes game. I think we have it on the easiest difficulty because she's not a ton of that much of a gamer, and she's also very, by her own admission, very technologically illiterate. So as far as like understanding how to make the game actually work the way that it's supposed to in a lot of cases, it's a lot of trial and error. We're both learning together, because even I've played plenty of games in my life. I have no experience with CRPGs, so this is like a whole new thing for both of us, and it could take us literally forever to play through one story of this game. But we've played for a few hours and it has been fun, so I'm going to be continuing to do that casually for probably quite a while, and I don't see myself really commenting on it very much, except for like when more major moments happen in the game, right? But yeah, that's something that I've been doing the last few weeks. And then I also, if you checked out the second channel yesterday, or if you don't know about it already, Little Nightmares 3 came out over the last couple of days, and Josh and I did a live stream over on the second channel yesterday. Starting that game, we played through 2 of the 4 chapters that are available at launch. We're going to play the next 2 of those this coming weekend, but we started that yesterday. We're going to have another live stream of it, playing through that as a first-time experience together, and it has been enjoyable enough so far. It's not quite sparking for me the same way that the first 2 games have, but that's some opinions that I'll have to solidify a little bit more as we come to finish the base game, and then I will of course keep an eye out on some of the couple of DLC chapters that are planned for that, so that we can play those together at the right time. But for now, with the base game out, we are playing that at the moment. The only plans that I have for gaming moving into the next couple weeks really is, of course, like I mentioned, going to finish Little Nightmares 3 this coming weekend, this coming Saturday, and then next Friday, plus also the week after that on Halloween, even though that's not technically within this next fortnight, I'm going to do solo live streams of Little Nightmares 1 and 2 for a couple like spooky season type of live streams, since I know those games and I know about how long they run, and I know I can do those each in just a day, maybe 2 maximum if I need to, but that's basically all that I really have for gaming plans, like I said. As for cinema, film and TV type stuff, I did go get my second post-operation appointment for my nose just this past Thursday, a few days ago, and that day also happened to have available showings for 2 movies that I wanted to watch with Lane, and so we did a double feature that day. We watched The Smashing Machine, which is that UFC biopic of Mark Kerr from Dwayne Johnson, and the movie was solid enough. I would give it about a 3 out of 5 personally. It was a solid movie. It's a bit anticlimactic. I think they could have dealt with that ending in a way that had a little bit more resonance and impact, but overall the drama of it was great. The Rock was actually surprisingly pretty good in there. It was an enjoyable watch. I'm glad I watched it. I definitely did not dislike it. The only thing holding it back from having like a solid 3.5, which is basically like my realm for average, is the fact that the ending was a little bit anticlimactic. But otherwise, I had an enjoyable time with the movie. And then we also watched Tron Ares, which I wanted to watch because even though I haven't watched the original Tron before, and that's kind of funny that I say that because Tron Ares actually had a lot of stuff that related to the original Tron, which again I haven't seen, but in either case I have seen Tron Legacy a lot, and Tron Legacy I frankly love. You know, it's a movie that I unironically really enjoyed, and I was curious to see how Tron Ares would go. I could see why some people have been calling it a little bit boring, because quite frankly, if you're not really into what it is doing, it is a little bit boring. It's not like the most solid structurally. It's also not the best paced of anything I've ever seen, but as far as like the tone and the vibe and what it was doing, something about it just really worked for me. I would actually give Tron Ares like a 4 out of 5. I really liked it, actually. I went into it expecting to honestly probably hate it, and I came out being like, no, that was a pleasant surprise. And there was a couple elements to I guess the sort of thematic palette of it that, you know, despite being a little bit overwrought, like not the most deftly handled, also like just kind of struck true for me in ways that I liked. So I liked Tron Ares a lot more than I thought I would. So those were my thoughts on those movies that I saw the last couple weeks. And as for anything in the next couple weeks, I don't have any specific plans, although I suppose since Halloween's coming up here pretty soon, I should actually watch Sinners. I'm going to make a point of actually watching Sinners this year, because if I make my film of the year list for this year and don't include that, since I actually own it at this point, that would be a huge oversight. So maybe I'll do that at some point over the rest of this month. But that's going to take us into the upcoming releases of the videos coming out on my couple of channels over the next 2 weeks. I have 10 videos over the next 2 weeks, 5 videos per week. This week, coming out tomorrow on the 13th on the second channel, is going to be Movie Magic Episode 8. That will be my full review of The Long Walk, the adaptation of that, which in the last one of these fortnights on the Isle, I did talk about that movie, talked about how I really enjoyed it, but there was some of it that I didn't like. So if you want to check that out, that will be coming out on Monday. Tuesday, the 14th, will be a review of Crossroads of Twilight by Robert Jordan, 10th book in the Wheel of Time, and going over the controversy is not the right term, but you know, the very mixed reception that book has, generally not so favorable, and where my reception with that is compared to others, and kind of some of the general statements that are often paired with it. That'll definitely be a fun video. Thursday the 16th will be a part 1 video of 1-star reviews of my favorite books. I thought that I was going to cover like my 10 favorite books and have a few reviews for each of those to kind of react to, but unfortunately that ended up being like an hour long, and after an hour I'd only gotten through 5 of the books, so I was like, okay, this is just going to be part 1. Part 2 will come sometime in November. Still going to be planning some of that out, but part 1 comes out on Thursday, and I'm excited about that. On Friday the 17th, which is my birthday, will be the series finale for the Final Fantasy I Let's Play. Like I said, final episode of that. Looking forward to that actually being over, even though I haven't recorded my next Let's Play yet, so I've been like slacking a little bit in September, but I've also just been busy the last couple of weeks, so I haven't even had time to even think about what my next Let's Play is going to be. But I do have ideas for what I'm going to do there, and I'm pretty sure I know which game I'm going to play, but I have no idea when I'm actually going to be recording that. Might be that I do that through the rest of October, because it would make a little bit of sense thematically, and also because the next couple of weeks I don't have as much active video production work that I need to get done, because I finally actually caught up on all of October's videos over the last couple of weeks. But in either case, that final episode is going to come out on Friday, and then on Saturday will be, like I said a couple times already, the second live stream for Little Nightmares 3, where Josh and I will play through the last couple chapters of that game that are available, and that will be an enjoyable time. And after the first live stream, where we went through that first hour just kind of figuring it out, getting things set up, and making sure we were actually in the game together, this Saturday should go a little bit smoother, so I'm looking forward to that. Next week, on Sunday the 19th, actually, so a week from today, will be episode 2 of the House of Leaves Diaries, which may not actually be the finale like I thought it would be. You're gonna have seen the thumbnail down there in that corner, and it will like have shown like all the rest of the chapters being covered in there. I'm not guaranteeing that. It's good chance that that could still happen, but I'm not going to promise that I will be able to finish House of Leaves this week, because I'm letting it take its time, and however much time it needs for me to read it is how much time it takes. I'm not going to rush through House of Leaves. So if that needs a third diary to come out on November 2nd, that's what I'll end up doing, but we'll definitely plan on having the second diary next Sunday in either case, so you know, that'll happen next week. On Monday the 20th will be Movie Magic episode 9, assuming I get the video done this week, but that is the plan, is to get the next couple Movie Magic episodes done over the next couple of days here. Tron Ares, I'll do my review of Tron Ares first on the second channel, and that will be next Monday. On Tuesday the 21st on the main channel will be my re-review video of Howling Dark by Christopher Rocchio. So if you don't recall, earlier in the year I did reread Empire of Silence, and then I reread Howling Dark pretty shortly afterward. I did a re-review of Empire of Silence in a scripted format, kind of the way that I did my review of Shadows Upon Time. I believe all of that happened in like July? Question mark? It would have been somewhere in that July or August range. I forget off the top of my head, but that's when that happened. So I'm finally getting back around, and I got my review written for Howling Dark, and I'm making that into a video that'll happen next Tuesday. And then on a similar wavelength, on the 23rd, next Thursday, will come my How to Read Sun Eater by Christopher Rocchio video, which is basically going over the way to approach Sun Eater, some fairly broad questions about reading order and what to read and stuff like that. And then I have like 4 recommended reading orders for that kind of get more and more complex as time goes on. But I did make that video. I'm looking forward to people being able to see that video. Just kind of very quickly here before Shadows Upon Time comes out, like, this is everything that's available right now. This is what we're looking at. This is how to read Sun Eater as of, you know, basically the end of 2025. So had a fun time with that video. I thought it was going to be bad, but I managed to get it structured fairly okay, and the edit came out pretty decent as well. So looking forward to everybody being able to see that. And finally, next Friday on the 24th, again, something I already mentioned, I'm going to try to live stream all of Little Nightmares 1 that Friday, the week before Halloween, for kind of a spooky season thing and follow up on the Little Nightmares 3 release. So that is what I have planned for the next couple weeks. And speaking of the next couple weeks, this coming fortnight is definitely going to be pretty well defined by my getting back on a work train, just because the last couple weeks I've been actually getting back to work after a few weeks where doing any kind of work wasn't really working very well. So I finally got back up on the train a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to be buckling down even harder on that over these next couple of weeks. The rest of the month, basically, I'm looking forward to seeing what I can get done. I'm looking forward to everybody seeing what it is that I am actually working on. I do have some freelance work that I have waiting on me right now, and some of November's content, kind of like I mentioned briefly, that I'm going to be preparing for here, since I have that trip in November to Raleigh, North Carolina for the Shadows Upon Time release event, continuing to work ahead on stuff. So the rest of the month I'm going to be buckling down, and that is basically what I have planned. Sorry if this video seems a little bit rushed compared to normal, but the fact that it's a little bit shorter than the last few of these have, I think, is a good thing. I'm glad for that. And the video was a bit rushed, so that's the reason why it feels a little bit rushed. In either case, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And again, I apologize for this video being a little bit late. I just forgot to do it over the last couple days like I normally would. I had other stuff occupying my time. And then I remembered it this morning. It was like, okay, I'm going to do that right after I get back home. And that is what I have done. That's the end of the video. Thank you one more time for watching. I hope you stick around for any of the videos that I have coming out over the next fortnight. For now, I've been your host, King Crusoe. You can call me KC, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.